Hey friends, Kris Krohn here again on Limitless Wealth TV, and I want to introduce you to Bitcoin Beamer. Okay, this is another friend of mine that has done extraordinarily well financially, and what I'm doing is I'm getting out there and I'm networking with people that have years of hands-on experience. And Bitcoin Beamer, my friend Beeman, I think he's going to do a great job bringing up, elevating your education on really understanding Bitcoin and the opportunity right in front of us. All right, Limitless Wealth TV, Kris Krohn here, and you know what? I've been getting so many comments and so many questions since we had Vitaly on that I decided to go ahead and introduce you to another person that's in Bitcoin, have them share some of their experience and see if we can get a little bit deeper in this conversation of cryptocurrency. What is it? I've had a chance at this Tony Robbins event to sit down. I mean, imagine paying $90,000 to have access to an event where you get to spend 1 week filled with billionaires and some of the top individuals that are currently participating in cryptocurrency. That's the opportunity that I've had, so it's been a week of incredible education. And I've got joining me here today, Bitcoin Beamer.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, brother. Now tell us your real name.
Bayman Zachary. You know how it is in crypto when it started, everything was supposed to be anonymous, and so when I started this new character, they said, well, you got to have some screen name, some handle, and I said, well, I've been called Beamer my whole life, and you got the Bitcoin thing, so somebody just goes, well, you're Bitcoin Beamer, so there it is.
Well, and I'm just kind of curious what you represent and what you do in life.
Yeah, I can't really tell. For some reason, I have this big orange circular thing that most people haven't ever heard of sitting here. It was kind of funny. I actually was at the World Series of Poker playing in the main event. And then a lot of my friends that were into crypto at the time that were playing online poker, I guess they started wanting to play online with Bitcoin. So it was kind of one of those things. So I just decided that, you know, since I was playing at the main event and I wanted to promote Bitcoin, why not just create my own shirts and just represent the heck out of the Bitcoin community through the World Series of Poker. And if I final table, could you imagine the 100 million viewers that would hit? Unfortunately, I didn't final table. I busted, I think that year, day 2 or day 3, and missed the money, but I tried.
All right. So Bitcoin Beamer, I got some questions for you, okay? So we're going to keep it real here. One of the commitments that I have here to my YouTube friends is to keep everything real, above board, super authentic. Cool. Which is, and I just want to be really clear here, I have yet not till this moment actually invested in Bitcoin, but I got to tell you that after my experience last night and learning from the panel from some of the top people on the planet right now that are participating, that I'm not going all in, but I'm absolutely going to be diversifying my portfolio, and I'm going to be adding not just Bitcoin, but I'm going to actually be adding several different types of coins. We'll get a little bit later into some of the different options that you really have, but really for this video today, I want to grill you a little bit on it, okay?
Bring it on.
Now you've been studying this for how long?
About 4.5 years.
And in those 4.5 years, when you started studying it, were you actually an investor?
I started as an investor. That was the way I initially got into it, and then I forgot about it for a few months, and that's when it jumped from like $100 to almost 300, and it woke me up.
And you tripled your money, and you're like, oh my
God,
gosh,
like 3 months,
amazing.
and I said, what is this thing? And so I kept digging deeper.
And what's happened since then?
Since then, I've just decided in my spare time, you know, I run a few businesses like we've talked about, and cryptocurrency's really caught my attention because I believe that it's the wave of the future for money. Now, whether or not certain countries are going to ban it or not, that's a whole other topic, but being the wave of the future, I want to be on any cutting edge thing early than be the guy that's, like Tony says, reacting at the end after, why didn't I buy into Bitcoin? You know?
Okay, and I want to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you to get vulnerable for a second.
That's okay.
But how much money did you put in, and how much would you guess approximately that you've made through Bitcoin?
Oh, God.
Yeah, see, he's turning red right now. He's like, I'm totally grilling him, man. I want to know this.
Okay. So my first investment was around $1,000. I bought 10 coins for a little over $1,000. I had since added a lot, and I don't know how big your viewing audience is here, but I'm definitely in the big boy club. Without getting into a specific number, yeah.
You've certainly been there long enough for the journey where you've seen the 35-fold increase in just Bitcoin.
Yes.
But do you hold other coins, other crypto?
Yeah, I actually have about a dozen other coins, altcoins. I mean, on top of like your Bitcoin Cashes and your Litecoins, which now I have Litecoin Cash, which I have to figure out how to extract out of my core wallet. That's going to be a fun little journey. I own most of the top ones. The one that I don't have, which I've been following, is EOS, which they talked about, as you remember last night, And that's been on my radar for a while, but I've been waiting for it to crash. But it really hasn't crashed much in relation to the price of Bitcoin. So yeah, I've got about 12.
Okay, so perfect. So thank you for letting me put you on the spot now.
You're welcome.
So here, right now, we're going to tackle the most difficult conversation piece that people have.
Okay.
I've got a couple of hard questions. Here's the first one. We hear this whole concept of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and then we're always lumping in this other technology that seems to be going hand in hand. It's a separate technology. It's an even bigger technology. It has to do with the way that we securely transfer data. And of course, I'm talking about the blockchain.
Yes.
For those that have never heard those terms, blockchain, what is it? In their most concise way, in your most concise way possible, and why is it important to crypto?
Okay, so you want me to dumb it down basically so that everybody can understand. It's
talk to them, dude.
Blockchain is simply, I visualize it as like this ongoing cash register. They call it a ledger. Just think of like the old school cash registers that the tape would just print off and you'd see all the transactions. And it's because I compare it to a cash register, there was never any really names on a cash register. There'd be like a dollar amount and whatever. So in crypto, the blockchain is merely like this ongoing massive ledger that started in, was it 2008 or 9, whenever the actual, I hear both numbers, by the way. We should actually try to find out when the first transaction was. But it keeps a running tally of every single transaction that's ever been sent or to by wallet addresses. So you don't know, it won't say your name, it won't say my name, it'll just say this wallet to this wallet for this much BTC, and it has the entire network. And the reason, and I know I'm probably kind of getting off on a tangent here, the reason that you're seeing a lot of the problems with the speed of the network as Bitcoin has grown, which is really what suppressed the price of it a lot recently on top of some of the other bad news, is because it wasn't designed to handle like MasterCard, Visa type level transactions. And so the blockchain, you know, if it gets too many users, gets very slow. So what's been going on is all these high-end developers, these guys that have been around forever, have been building what's called layer 2. And I'm not trying to confuse everybody, but just think of it as like layer 1 is the blockchain, where all the transactions take place. And then you have layer 2, which is this whole other system where you send all the information out to compute and send it almost back, so that you're not bogging down the main layer 1 network, if that makes sense. So these guys are gonna find ways. These developers are relentless. You know, where there's a problem, there's a will. And just like when we had 28K modem speed, could you imagine downloading a picture now online with 28K? Like, well, it would take an hour. Well, as time went, you know, these developers answered and solved the questions, and now we have high-speed fiber, and it's going to grow into even greater things. So don't be fearful that just because the Bitcoin network is slow that it's over. They can't figure this out. These developers are very incentivized. I mean, they're great guys, but they're very incentivized to make sure that Bitcoin scales appropriately.
Now, I just got to say, you got a lot of energy. It's like, listen, I think I got great energy, but man, you dude, you're like you're like this puppy dog that's like so excited that
I love crypto.
I know you do. This is your full-time thing, right?
Well, no, I own a few businesses, but you know, most of them run
Wrong
themselves.
answer, dude. You're throwing all your money in it. You're going nuts on it. You're going crazy. I'm telling my people to, hey, reserve, take a small percentage, diversify, but I know you're all in, right?
Well, I wouldn't say like my money's all in. It probably should have been when I initially got into it. But again, the asset allocation thing was always ringing a bell. Even though I believed in blockchain and Bitcoin so much, I've mined it. You know, I've played with it. I've talked it for years. You know, what can I say? You know, I can only do so much in a day.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll start doing some YouTube stuff. You know, this seems a lot of fun. You know.
Well, you know, what I'm trying to do is just help you out, my YouTube friends, by making sure that you're getting educated and knowledgeable. And in the comments below, I want you to ask some additional questions. What kind of things do you want to know here from Bitcoin Beamer? What do you want to know from my friend Vitali? What do you want to know from my other friends? Because I'm going to get a few more videos here, and my intention and my hope is to make sure that we can give you really enough of a big picture of what it is so that you can make good, intelligent choices. You know, I am first and foremost real estate, but that's just an asset class. Do I have all of my money in real estate? Absolutely not. Do I have a lot of money in real estate? Absolutely. But diversification really is a very key and very important financial principle as you're growing wealth, and it all really does start with one of the most important core questions, which is what percentage of your income are you saving so that you can make investments like this. So I want to, you know, obviously there's so many different, there's 1,600 different cryptocurrencies that are available out there.
And growing. God, they said 2,000 in the room. I didn't even know, you know, I thought it was like 1,550, and then somebody said 16, they said 2,000. Yeah, and it's growing every day.
So if one of my friends here wanted, you know, was considering getting into Bitcoin,
yes,
what advice would you give them?
Start small and educate yourself. The way I started, guys, it was pretty simple, as a matter of fact. It was on YouTube. When I found out about Bitcoin, I just went to YouTube and I typed in what is Bitcoin, and then there's this video you can watch that I watched, maybe 2 minutes long, that dumbed it down. Really, really great for me. And then of course they have all the related videos, so I clicked and I think I stayed up till like 6 in the morning and then repeated and just kept watching videos. And so I pretty much suck up as much information as I can and meet as many people as I can. And I'm a student, you know, I continuously learn like everybody else. I enjoy it. I love seeing the growth of it. I love to be a part of it. So I would just start small and read as much as you can. And when you find out about a coin that seems like it piques your interest, then invest what you can afford to lose. Take a small percentage of your portfolio and just put it in.
Awesome. Friends, looks like Bitcoin is here to stay. It's interesting because right now it's got a market cap that's approaching $1 trillion, which means...
Well, yeah, it's getting there. Bitcoin itself is about 150 billion right now, but the overall market cap is about half a trillion right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It is approaching that trillion price, but
and there's a lot of people that think that once the large institutions get involved, that it'll become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's interesting. It's almost like it's almost like a currency that is for the people and from the people, made by the people, instead of top-down institutionalized.
That's my line.
Oh, I did.
For the people. We didn't even talk about that.
I don't even know.
Why are you stealing my lines?
I don't even know your lines, dude. So, friends, we're just trying to get you more and more educated here on what it is. Is it a good thing for you? Is it a good place for you to be? If you want more tools, more resources, you want to learn more, hop on over to my website. Make sure that you put comments below, subscribe, ring the bell. We got more coming your way. Friends, thanks for hanging out and watching the video. Listen, if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, I recommend that you click the link, hop on over to my website, and what I want you to do there is you're only going to see real estate and wealth related options, but if you want to learn more about crypto and Bitcoin, I want you to download my free book, because you got to put in your email to do that, and that way I can email you when I've got more information, more videos, if I get access to some of my buddies' incredible opportunities on all the different ways to play on blockchain. I'll be sure to notify you which ones I feel are legit or worth looking into.